Yeah, this is how I groove. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the new Mike Wysocki show at our new home at Epicast TV. Thank you so much for being a big part of our new show. Mike Wysocki show brought to you by the Pittsburgh City Paper. Pick up a copy on the street today. It doesn't cost you anything. Today on the show, we have legendary Pittsburgh historian Rick Sebak from WQED. His new Pittsburghly titled special, Nebby, A Short History of Route 88, premieres tomorrow night on WQED. Rick will be here to talk to us about it. Also, Mike and Kendyll Travers. They did what everyone wants to do, that's to travel across the country. They took a lot of pictures. They're going to share their journey across America. From Real Men Wear Pink, we have Sean Giliberti and John Kohler going to be here to talk about what they're doing to help people out. And musician Kevin Reilly, also known as Walkman, is going to be on the show. His new album titled 15229 will be dropping soon. We're going to tell you about that. We also want to thank you for joining us on Epicast. If you want to have your own podcast on Epicast, go to epicastnetwork.com, fill out the form, and tell them that I sent you. We're starting the show here with a little bit of breaking news. This comes to us from our friends over at WPXI in East McKeesport, where people, the area where people from McKeesport look down on. They have arrested a one-armed woman who tried to rob a bank. This is an actual true story. She pulled a blade, asked for loot, but the teller said no. Then she ran away. Police found her later because there were only 6 women in East McKeesport with one arm waving a knife. But they did find her. Don't know why they're arresting her, though. I mean, she didn't steal anything. She offered to take money. They said no, and she politely ran away. And from KDKA, a new study shows that 1 in 5 high schoolers are smoking synthetic weed. Come on, kids. That stuff is awful. Now, in full disclosure, I tried it once in 2011 when it was legal, and that stuff is horrible. Why are you wasting your time on that? Your heart races, you sweat, you have heart palpitations. Come on, kids. Wise up and take some better drugs than that. I'm not saying don't do drugs. I'm just saying don't do bad drugs. That is our message to you, to kids. We are now going to cut away for a little commercial, and then we're going to come right back with the legendary Rick Sebak.
Back, it won't be that bad. Damn, don't do it for the gram. Can't stand the internet, this shit is getting out of hand. Do it for your man, shake it for a band. Bigger than a bread, make it out the pan. Block is too hot, don't touch it with your hands. They'll burn your ass up, they'll scratch you with a match. Get on the flow, get on the flow, get on the flow. Come give me some more, hey, give me some more. I wanna know, I wanna know. Get on the flow, get on the flow, get on the flow, get on the flow. Come give me some more, girl, give me some more. I wanna know.
All right, our first guest is the WQED Employee of the Month for October 2017. Take that, Chris Fenimore. Congratulations.
Was I the Employee of the Month?
I believe you are. If not, you should be.
Oh, okay.
Because Rick Sebak, thank you for joining us. And tomorrow night is the premiere of the Pittsburghly titled Nebby, A Short History of Route 88. Now, Rick, I know that the terminus, the northern terminus for Route 88 is where it runs into 51.
You're exactly right.
Where is the southern terminus? And tell us what you found in between.
The southern terminus is in Point Marion, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's right on the border?
It's almost in West Virginia.
Okay, okay. So is it an intrastate? I guess it's just a
No,
road.
it's a state highway.
Okay,
It's,
all right.
It's PA Route 88.
PA Route 80, okay.
When it was new in 1927, it went from Erie to Monongahela, and then it was extended to Point Marion in also, I think, in 27 or 28. And then the federal government decided from Erie to Pittsburgh, they would take it as a federal highway and called it U.S. Route 19. So 19 from Erie to Pittsburgh was once Route 88. But after that, they routed it out the Ohio River Boulevard, and it went up to Newcastle through Elwood City, and that was from 28 until 61. And in 61, they decided that would be 65. So they renamed it 65, and then since 1961, you're right, the northern terminus has been in Overbrook
Yes.
at the intersection with 51. So it's 68 miles long, and I grew up beside Route 88 in Bethel Park,
Okay.
near Danny's Pizza.
Oh, one of the best.
It's really
And the subs too, but
yes. But it's odd. I don't mention Danny's or Pasta 2, the two places on 88 I've probably eaten the most. We didn't do stories there, so I shot too much as usual, and we had to edit down. So as I hadn't done an interview in either one of those places, they were easy to eliminate without making anyone feel bad.
yeah.
So unfortunately, I don't mention Danny's or Pasta 2, although they are both great places to eat, as is Frank's 88 Lounge.
I haven't tried that one place yet. Frank's 88 Lounge?
I say it was the only place my mother was a regular.
Oh,
And
okay.
my mom had a stroke, and I moved back in with her for a while out there in Bethel Park, and we would always go to Frank's, and she would say, "How does she know what I want to drink?" I said, "Mom, we're regulars here." But then after Bethel Park, it goes through Library, past Trax Farm, past Mineral Beach, under the Joe Montana bridges.
Yes, that's right.
And eventually get to New Eagle, Pennsylvania, and then you go parallel to the Mon pretty much the rest of the way, down to West Virginia. Point Marion is where the Cheat River flows into the Mon.
Oh,
So
okay.
here's another point. I had never heard
We're
this
all
before, but I kind of-
connected.
Yes. The Monongahela River in Pennsylvania goes from Point Marion to the Point at Pittsburgh. So it goes from point to point.
Okay.
And it flows north, which is confusing to everyone. As you head south, you go upriver.
Yeah, the Mon flows south to north?
No, it flows south to north. Yes, it flows north.
Okay. But did you find anything on, do you say Route or Route 88? That's one of those things. I don't know. I use them almost interchangeably.
Almost interchangeably. I don't know. I find that I say Route 88. But I say in the show, some say route, and people all during the show say route or route.
It's one of those aunt, pajamas.
I say Route 8.
Yeah.
But I don't say Route 88. I don't know. But it doesn't matter.
Did you find anything new on there that you didn't know about, or were these all places that you'd maybe heard of, or was
no, tons? No. The first day, I went with Frank Colliero, who's been my cameraman, and it's been mostly just the two of us. The very first day we went out, we had a GoPro on the front of the car.
Oh, okay.
And Frank was shooting out the window too, and we just said, let's just go the whole way and see everything we can see and stop wherever we feel like it. One of our first stops was at the Mingo Creek Presbyterian Church, and that was a major gathering spot for the Whiskey Rebellion. So I thought,
Okay.
we'll check this out.
Yeah,
the church
yeah.
that's there. It doesn't look this old, but it was built in 1831, so it's quite an old church.
Wow.
And it's pre-Civil War.
Yeah.
There
That was
aren't
like,
any pre-Civil War churches in the city of Pittsburgh.
no, that's like 30 years before the Civil War.
Yeah. So, but there's the church, and then the manse where the pastor lives is right there, sort of next to it, up a little higher on the hill. And then by that, there's a little, I call it in the show a gazebo-like structure. The way they tell the history of this congregation is they were in the church. Before the church, where the manse is, they used to have a wooden church, a log church, until 1831. So from like the 1780s until 1830, they had a log church. Before that, they just met under an oak tree, a big oak tree. So then it was attacked by carpenter ants in the 1980s, and they decided they had to cut it down. It was a problem. So one of the parishioners or one of the congregation said, let's get someone to do something with the tree. And they hired a chainsaw sculptor from Emporium, Pennsylvania, named Stanley Mills, who is considered the grandfather of chainsaw sculpting.
I didn't even know that was an occupation.
Hey, I've seen chainsaw sculptors at like flea markets and stuff, but he transformed the trunk of the oak tree into a sculpture, a statue of an itinerant preacher. Because when they were meeting under the oak tree, they didn't have a pastor, just ministers passing through would preach. And so this is a statue dedicated to the itinerant preachers. And it's a beautiful sculpture. I said to Frank, I know this show is going to be good because that is so cool.
All done with a chainsaw.
All done with a chainsaw. And what do they call him? Reverend Stump. Everybody knows Reverend Stump. It's worth the trip out 88 just to meet Reverend Stump. So it's really great. And then we went back on another day. The first day that we stopped there and got the first little tour, the pastor was on vacation. And so a woman showed us around and showed us the church and everything. And then we said, well, we'll come back when the pastor's here to talk to him. And we did on another day. And so we were shooting stuff too. And we said, well, we want to go over to Reverend Stump and get some nice shots. It was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
And while we were standing there shooting, this car pulls in, like right by Reverend Stump. And it's another guy. And what's going on here? And I said, we're just shooting for Channel 13. He goes, oh, okay. I just want to make sure there's no problems. And I said, no problems. We're just, showing off Reverend Stump. And he goes, well, I built that fence. There's a beautiful wrought iron fence around Reverend Stump. And he said, me and my friend Dave Radnauer, we built that fence. And I said, great. Well, can we, would you get out of your car again? And we'll talk about the fence. And so then he's standing next to the fence. And we got the opals over here. And you can see the Indians and all this. And he goes, and then down here, people usually don't see this. In the corner of the fence, down at the bottom near the ground, he created a little statue of Tom the Tinker.
Now, who's Tom the Tinker?
I had never heard of Tom the Tinker.
Okay.
But he is a legendary figure from the Whiskey Rebellion.
Okay.
Who sided with the rebels. And if you decided, I don't care about this rebellion, I'm going to pay my taxes. You would get a letter from Tom the Tinker telling you that we would rather you come over to our side. If you don't, things may happen to your still. Ooh. And it was known that if you did pay your taxes and didn't want to side with the rebels, they would kill your still. They would shoot up your still because they didn't want anybody agreeing with the government.
The choosing the side of the federal government.
So he's a legendary character, but he's mostly associated with one man, John Holcroft, who's buried in the cemetery across from the church. So it all connects, and it's really nice. And so, that's the kind of thing we learn. The show is called Nebby. The series that I'm making is called Nebby. Is because we have the luxury of asking all these questions. Like, what is this? Who are you? What is this doing? And so,
who's this guy coming in here? Yeah.
Exactly. Well, he was being Nebby.
He was.
So we love that. And actually, when we finally get to... I feel bad we didn't include it, so I think we'll use it somewhere. But when we get to Point Marion, the second time we get to Point Marion, Frank, my cameraman, he's always doing research as well. So he's a stupendous cameraman. He said, "Oh, I saw this thing. There's a little restaurant that serves pie in Point Marion. We should check it out. It's in an alley." So I said, "Great." So
it's a little shady, but it's pie.
Hey, it's called Apple Annie's, and literally. You have to know it's there. You would never find it. It's not like it's on the main drag. You turn off the main drag down an alley, and Apple Annie's is down there. We went on a Tuesday afternoon. I didn't call in advance. No, we were just walking in, strangers. They had 17 kind of pie.
Wow.
Incredible.
In an alley, just pies?
Well, no, it's a whole restaurant. I mean, you can get, it's like home cooked food, meatloaf,
Right.
that kind of thing. But then also they're famous for their pies.
Wow.
And I tell you, when they serve you a piece of pie, it's like a quarter of the pie. It's just huge. And so that was really nice, and we include him in the show. Well, I say that's your little celebration when you get to the end of Route 88.
That is. Pies always cause for celebration.
So
You found all that on Route 88? The whole road is covered with like craftsmen and legendary people from the Whiskey Rebellion.
Hey.
And then it ends with an alley full of pies.
yes, and it's I mean we didn't have time to do all the places that. Just south of Charleroi. I mean, Charleroi is a big part of the show. We love Charleroi.
Yeah, I love Charleroi, yeah.
And since I think 1905 is the earliest known case of this, it's been called the Magic City. Charleroi is the Magic City.
I didn't know that.
Because apparently it grew so fast. Once industry started locating there, Charleroi became the Magic City. We don't say this in the show. I wrote it for a while, but it also got cut. And for about a month, I want to say in 2015, they changed the name of Charleroi for a month to Pyrex, Pennsylvania, because Pyrex is made in Charleroi, still is.
Pyrex is everywhere across the world.
It
It's
is.
one of those things, everyone has Pyrex in their
It
house.
used to be Corning Glass that made it there, but now it's called World Kitchen. But it's still
Okay.
made there. Pyrex is still made there. But the thing I love the most are two English cottage-style gas stations from the 1930s.
I never would have thought that would still be around.
Two of them in Charleroi, one block apart. I mean, we were astounded because we like to look at old gas stations all along the route.
Yeah.
From Castle Shannon, where there's this great place called Feller's Garage. There's a bunch. We show one in Finleyville. We show the new Sheets at the corner of 88 and 21.
Okay.
But in Charleroi, there are these two. And we talked to the one guy. The other guy didn't want to talk on camera. He said, "I've had 7 strokes. I don't want to talk." But he found me a bunch of old pictures. His mother and father
still
standing
helped
there
out, though.
in front of the gas station and everything. And so it was really great. And we're walking around, and he goes, Chernovsky was the architect of this gas station. I said, "You know the name of the architect of the gas station?" And so again, Frank texted me that night. He goes, "What was the name of the architect?" And he figured, I wrote down Chernovsky, Chernovsky. And Frank found out it's Trenovsky, Trn.
Okay.
Trenovsky. And I find a thing from Penn State, an architectural paper on those two gas stations, because they are English. In the 30s, they thought if you made your gas station look like an English cottage, more people would stop. And they're really beautiful. They still are.
Because that's not a job anyone can find anymore, is gas station architect.
No, well, there are still architects of gas stations, and if you think about it, one day we'll look at that new Sheets and say, "Wow, look how how cool and
that looks
retro that
futuristic.
looks."
Yeah,
or
I know
something.
that does.
I mean, not now it looks sort of state of the art, but it will eventually, go the way of all these old gas stations, I guess. But it was the whole thing. The entire time we did a drive-in in Carmichael's, Pennsylvania.
That's nice to even see that there's such thing as a drive-in anymore.
Well, obviously, yeah, me too. I used when I lived in Bethel Park growing up, South Park Drive-In was right there on 88, and we went there all the time. You could watch the movies from the top of our street too, no sound, but you could watch the movie. But so I said, "Oh, here's still an operating drive-in here, south of Carmichael's," and so I called them and I said, "Can we come talk to you?" And they're like, "Well, what?" And I don't think they understood what I was trying to do, but they agreed, and we stopped down. I was stunned. It was so beautiful. It's like the best drive-in. It's meticulously cared for. It still has those bumps covered in grass where you park your car, and they have 2 screens. It's been 2 screens since 1986, although it opened in 1946. The big screen still has working speakers that you put in your car. That's very rare in drive-ins. I think
But they're still functioning.
Yes, and Charles Walker, the guy that he and his wife own it, Charles and Elizabeth Walker, and he said he thought there was 300 drive-ins left in America. They may be the only one that still has on a pole 2 speakers that you put inside your car window and everything. So it's definitely worth the trip if you're trying to go down and see a movie. They show first-run movies. I was driving back late one night, and I looked over, and it was Dunkirk was playing on
That might be
in
the
the
most
drive-in.
astounding part of the whole story. It's still current.
First-run movies in the drive-in in Carmichael's, Pennsylvania.
Who would have? They never would have thought that. All that you found on Route 88, which you can see tomorrow. Now, Rick, what else? You brought something here. I think I've seen this on social media. You may have won kind of. You were. Kind of champion.
Well, I was no. I was on. John McIntyre does things at the Oaks Theater.
Yeah.
I forget what he calls them. It's a comedy night. It's
Dangerously Live.
Dangerously Live, yes. And so when I went there I was part of the show last Friday night, and he goes, "Oh, Rick, when the show's over, there's a guy. There's going to be a little thing for you, a little tribute thing." And I said, "What? Get out!" And he goes, "No, you'll like it. You'll like it." And then he forgot. So afterwards, this guy, we've been Facebook friends. We've met once or twice, I think, just in passing. Andrew Lazarchik. And he lives in Latrobe, and he runs Wildcat Championship belts. And he had a belt for me.
Ah.
And he makes all the belts for the WWE.
Look that up.
And he makes the belt for the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Wow. Wow. This is first WQED. It has
Oh my
on
God!
there?
It is just fantastic work. That is the
You're
logo.
the champion of Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's champion, and down here it says, and a lot of other stuff, which I love.
Oh,
And
that is beautiful.
this is the Pittsburgh history logo that I always brand my shows with, and he has it inside a TV.
Inside it, and inside in the old-fashioned TV with the knobs.
Yes, with
Remember
the
when the
knobs
knobs
and-
broke
and-
off?
and
You
the
have to use
rabbit ears.
pliers and to change the channels.
So it is just a beautiful thing.
That
so.
really is. Well, congratulations on being
And you can sort of
Pittsburgh champion. You walk around with the belt.
Yes.
So, Rick, now your specials crowdfunding, Kickstarters. How significant is that in?
It's huge.
It covers. You're able to do a lot more than you would be able to do without it, I would imagine.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Buell Foundation has been my big champion for many, many years, since Northside Story, which was a long time ago. They've been my principal funder, but they've always said, this isn't going to go on forever.
Right? Yeah. We can't do everything. They've been doing it for years and years.
And they've sort of changed their purpose to be very North Side oriented. They're a foundation for the North Side. Well, we don't always fit into that. Sometimes we do, but we don't always. But they've still been very kind to me. So I talked to them and I said, we think we try this crowdfunding and do a Kickstarter, and they said that would be great. So they gave us a little seed money to start, or a lot of seed money, because it was really nice. And then I set a goal of $113,000 to do 6 programs. And I said, if we make the goal, we had a stretch goal, they call it, and said $20,000 more, I'll do 7. So we got $143,000.
People responded.
It was great, just astounding. And
so is this one the first of the 6
this
to
is
7?
the first of the 7.
Okay.
Yes. So for the next several months, more than several months, I think, probably into the summer of next year.
And you've probably got 100 ideas. You're going to narrow down to 6.
Well, I gave ideas as part of the Kickstarter, and I think maybe the next one is going to be about bike trails, because it's going to be a beautiful
It really
time of the
is.
year.
Isn't that crazy that you can go from the Point to Washington Monument to
DC,
DC?
Yeah.
All on one bike.
I don't know that I do it all that way.
No.
But I mean, I want to concentrate.
I think I could maybe.
There's trails everywhere. Oh, I've done the Gap Trail, the Great Allegheny Passage. At least as far as Confluence, I don't know if I've ever gone. I mean, I've been to Ohio Pile and beyond, and I've not gotten to the West Virginia border, but I've come pretty close.
That's still pretty good.
Maryland border too.
Okay,
yeah.
that's still a hike.
Yeah, the
though.
Mason-Dixon line.
I would be proud of myself if I could make it to Ohio Pile.
But the thing is, they're usually it's usually rails to trails things, and the trains couldn't take a hill. Trains had to be on a very level.
Yeah, they can't even go up a certain grade.
Exactly, like more than like 4% grade or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is. So generally, it's an easy bike ride, and I like that a lot. So, when I first started doing it, you used to have to go to the Boston Bridge over by McKeesport.
Oh yeah.
To get on there. That was for a long time. That was the Western Terminus.
That was it. Yeah, that was it.
But now you can do it from the point, and I don't know whether you take the South Side Trail or you come along, the jail trail,
Yeah.
and you can make all the connections and everything, get to McKeesport. I think it's still a little bit rough through McKeesport. Mm-hmm. But that could be the next thing. I just think we're going to have beautiful fall weather.
Yeah.
And, changing leaves and all that. So I think that's the time. I'm also going to try and do people who write books around here. I want to do another show. 2018 will be the 200th anniversary of our first bridge.
Wow.
1818 was our first bridge, the first river crossing. Which was, it's so confusing. It's where the Smithfield Street Bridge is now, but it was a different bridge.
Okay. All right.
All right. Which is
But the
confusing
Smithfield, I think, is still the oldest, isn't it?
That's exactly why it's confusing.
Yeah.
The Smithfield Street Bridge is the oldest bridge, and its levels set a lot of standards for riverboat travel because you have to get under the Smithfield Street Bridge. Some riverboats will have things that topple down to get under the Smithfield Street Bridge, but on that site was the first Monongahela Bridge, and that was our first bridge, 1818. So I just thought it'd be fun to go do that. And I will go back to the Joe Montana bridges.
Yes.
Which, on Route 88, it has to be one of the most startling things. You're out there in the middle of the country. You're just tooling along south of Mingo. Actually, they are exactly where you turn to go into Mingo Park. And so many kids who grew up in the South Hills seem to have wild stories about Mingo Park.
Mingo Park. We'll have to do that one day. Mingo Park days.
And so those bridges, I want to talk to an engineer about why are there two? Like, why is it better to build two-lane bridges rather than one four-lane bridge? I mean, I like if we had earthquakes or something around here, you might say, oh, it's a backup or so,
Yeah.
And someone said, well, then you could work on one bridge and, make it one-lane traffic on the other bridge if something happened or something. But I was surprised to find out they are the second highest bridges in Pennsylvania.
Didn't know
the only
that.
bridge that is higher is at Emlenton up on 80. So yeah, I mean, it's the beauty of my job.
Yeah.
I get to,
Well, Rick, thank you so much for being here. We look
thank
forward
you
to
for
the new
having me.
ones. The new show premieres tomorrow night on WQED. Nebby, a short history of Route 88. Rick Sebak, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rick. We're going to be right back with Mike Travers and Kendyll Travers right after this break.
Kittens getting down on the floor. You a cat, taste a laser up the wall. I can't stop, I won't go, I won't pause. Knock it off, hell no. Don't. I don't need all that. Antique Jaguars in the claw won't scratch. Maintain cocaine in the seesaw black. Antique propane in the seesaw packs. Tail so fat it won't run that fast. We can tailboat back, it won't be that bad. Damn. Don't do it for the gram. Can't stand the internet. This shit is getting out of hand. Do it for your man. Shake it for a band. Bigger than a bread. Make it out the pan. Block is too hot. Don't touch it with your hands. They'll burn your ass up. They'll scratch you with a match. Get on the flow. Get on the flow. Get on the flow. Give me some more. Hey, give me some more. I wanna know. I wanna know. Get on the flow. Get on the flow. Get on the flow. Get on the flow. Give me some more. Girl, give me some more. I wanna know. Would you look at this?
Coming back at you, we just got Rick Sebak out of here. What a pain that guy was, but thank you, Rick Sebak, for joining us. Our next guests are Mike and Kendyll Pierce. They are a couple. Pierce Travers, what did I say?
Close enough.
Yeah.
Mike Travers and Kendyll Pierce Travers are here. I've already messed this up already.
It just sounded like we got married and I took her
It did, you took her name.
Which had been kicked around because she made more money.
It almost happened,
Yeah, that
but
had
you
been
stuck with
mentioned.
Travers.
Yeah.
It had mentioned. But you guys just did what a lot of people would love to do. You went across the country and took some pretty crazy pictures. We're going to be showing those in a little bit. But the one thing I noticed about you, Mike, is that, well, first of all, Kendyll's very good at business. She's like the vice president of a national company.
I know.
But you're good at posing. When I see, there's a picture of you in front of the Grand Canyon where the posing is so good, you almost don't even recognize the Grand Canyon. Like, you almost look away from that. Did you learn that? Is that taught? Did you pass that on to your sons? Or?
Yeah, you know, I think it comes from not having a lot to work with that I had to make up for in the posing. And a lot of it is, believe it or not, is natural. It is, and I couldn't imagine, like, we take so many pictures on these trips, like thousands of pictures on a trip, and I can't imagine if we took these like back before like the digital pictures and stuff. If we had to get them developed. Like it would cost more than the trip getting them developed.
For sure.
And then you got to wait 2 weeks for them to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then,
We take 1 million.
So where's there's a picture of you guys, or you at the Cadillac Ranch. Where is that?
It's in the.
And is that all it is? It's just Cadillacs buried into the ground?
This was a fun event. We drove through basically a tornado.
Yeah, we had. It's in the Panhandle.
Texas,
it's in
right?
Amarillo, Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where it
And
is.
the night before, we drove all night because we wanted to hit it. Like, we had loose plans for this trip, but we wanted to hit things at certain times. And for whatever reason, I always saw that and thought it looked incredible. And we wanted to hit it at sunrise. So we drove all night, through the night from like Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
We blew through the Oklahoma City Memorial so we could go.
So we can stand in front of these cars.
Yeah. So, and then you see it from the highway. But anyway, we hit this unbelievable storm, and it's right where all the tornadoes hit. Like, and like we had to pull over the van. It was just, she was bawling her eyes out. You know,
It was bad.
It was one of those moments. But we finally got
Yes.
there in the morning. It's like 6 inches of mud to get through, and you see it from the highway, and it looks like we're like, is that it? And you get there, and it's
I
amazing.
said, you made me drive through a tornado to see this.
It's really cool.
But when you walk up to it, it is kind of neat. When you get through the mud and you have to carry the mud with you, and it was a little intense, but it was cool.
Worth it, yeah.
We made our tag on it. There's spray paint cans everywhere, and
Nice.
Yeah, what saved it, like this trip was we had such an amazing experience. We decided to just give you a background. We decided we've been flying everywhere for years, like going on trips, you know, and she's been wanting to take a road trip, and I've been against it. And finally, she talked me into it. We do it's amazing road trip. So, but to avoid being like bored and just hitting like Nashville and the main cities, not that that's boring, but you hit the main things that everyone does. We found this website called Atlas Obscura, and what it is you type in where you're at, or you put in where you're at, and it shows you the most unique things you could find, like off the beaten path. And like Cadillac Ranch was one. Like for an example, we were in Arkansas. There's nothing to see in Arkansas.
No,
I
would
you're
think.
big fans in Arkansas. Right?
No. I would just think there's maybe some hot springs and maybe where Bill Clinton was born.
Right, and that's what we would have thought. But with Atlas Obscura, we found the world's largest Popeye statue right off the highway. So in Alma, Arkansas, so you can't not go see the largest.
I would go see that.
Oh, well, we had to, and for everyone to know, the world's largest Popeye statue is about 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not.
Turns out you could
not
have
as-
the largest
You
Popeye statue.
could
Very
put
little
that
work.
out there.
Yeah.
But that was the coolest thing, was being able to like find these like just unique places. We did all the major things too, like Vegas, and you know.
Was there any place that was kind of a letdown where you had high hopes, you got there and you were thinking, this is like a little overrated?
What would yours be?
I know what you're gonna say. Mount Rushmore.
Mine was Mount Rushmore.
Okay. I mean, is there anything that it's four faces in a rock?
It's just what it is. It's exactly what you see. People, the Grand Canyon looks amazing in pictures. And he kind of would argue me before and say, well, I mean, I've seen it a million times. Like, it can't be that impressive in person. And then, as you see from the picture, when we got there, he was impressed, and it was incredible. But
it was grand.
But it was great. But Mount Rushmore was just like, oh.
But if you put Mount Rushmore in the Grand Canyon, you wouldn't even see it.
No, you wouldn't. And are they talking about doing that?
I don't know. And you're going like, you kind of went out of your way to see that, didn't you?
Well, we made, it was a long stretch. Like, we left Seattle and basically drove straight through to Mount Rushmore.
We skipped Yellowstone. To make sure we had time to see Mount Rushmore.
Hit it at the right time.
In hindsight, that was amazing.
Yeah, you want to hit that in the morning.
The one place that was a big, I'd even say a bigger letdown, and this is embarrassing to even admit that I even wanted to go see it. We wanted to hit Field of Dreams. Not that one. That's not the embarrassing part. That was the best part.
Yeah.
That was one of the
that was
highlights
good.
of the trip.
That was cool.
So two things. So we wanted to hit Field of Dreams at sunrise, for photo opportunities. And it would just be amazing, right? And but the problem was, we had 4 hours or so to kill before we would get there. So we decided to go see the Bridges of Madison County, which I admit I did read and was a fan of it, It was the
How many bridges are there?
There's like 9 maybe.
And it doesn't matter because they all look exactly the same.
Painted the same.
And as we figured that out, as we drove to see each one.
Number 3 looks a lot like number 7.
They're not even usable. They're
they're the same
shut
exact
down.
thing.
They're like in fields.
They
don't most of them didn't even go over water.
Nope. Just
And the other slightly disappointing, Field of Dreams was amazing.
It was
but
cool.
I, for whatever reason in my head, thought the corn stalks were year-round that high. So when I went to do my dramatic walk to the corn stalks, they're literally like ankle high or like maybe shin high. Yeah, and so that was a little bit. Yeah,
it was super.
So you went West Coast. I know you're not necessarily Kendyll Mike's big sports fan, and you're with your sons who are sports fans. Did you get to see any stadiums?
Everyone we could
Every
drive
single
past.
one?
I mean,
she loves it.
Did you have a favorite, Kendyll, from the outside? Did you think
from
like that? Like that's a cool looking.
Right.
Well,
I'll give it. That's a cool looking stadium.
we drive past a lot from the outside. So I no. I mean, maybe
The
all the
worst
same.
part is every team was away on that trip except for the Oakland A's, who couldn't have a more boring, plain stadium.
Yeah, that stadium was
Yeah.
put up, I think, when the Monkeys were on.
Oh yeah, it's old. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the only team. Like Seattle was gone. San
Which is a
Francisco
cool
was gone.
stadium.
Yeah.
That's a nice
San Fran
stadium.
looked,
Dodger
looked
Stadium.
amazing from
Yep.
that. Yeah.
we went to the outside of them.
We had all the universities. We made her see like we saw Oregon.
Oh yeah, that was super fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the Pacific Northwest must have been beautiful.
Oh,
was.
gorgeous.
Yeah, it really was. We got to do Yosemite. We got to do San
That was
Fran.
my dream,
And
Yosemite.
another Pittsburgh guy who you should try to get on here next time he's home, Dave Filoni, who works for Lucasfilm, took us on this most amazing private tour of Lucasfilm and Industrial
Light Magic. Yeah, it was
Whoa.
awesome.
Yeah, he's been like one of the head animator there for years for the Star Wars part. So that was incredible.
Huh.
Good Pittsburgh kid. Yeah.
That's really cool. You guys have been out to Hollywood, which sets up my next segment I like to call One Downer. Now, this is, I know that, Mike, that you went out to Hollywood, and you both went out to Hollywood, and we were both in the same building, so I want to make this relevant. And you went to the Improv in Hollywood.
Yes.
You went into the bathroom there, and tell everybody who you met.
So, to give a little backstory real quick, we had been out there for a week, and there was a million unbelievable headliners this night. But we saw so much comedy that week. I was like, I'd about had it. So I said, and there had been rumblings that Paul McCartney was in the audience. So I said, I might just go stand outside to watch Paul. I'm such a big Beatle fan. I was like, I might just watch him walk by.
He was gonna wait. He was gonna wait outside.
I'm gonna hit the bathroom first and then go wait outside. So I go outside and or I go in the bathroom first. I'm standing there doing my thing, and someone comes beside me. I don't look beside, because that's not what you do. And I hear someone say, "Hey, you picked a good, you having a good time, Paul." It doesn't register, and I hear it in an English accent. Picked a pretty good night to be here, and I'm like, I'm peeing next to Paul McCartney. So, long story short, I go wash my hands and wait for him to come over and
Totally normal
and
thing
take
to do.
a picture in the bathroom.
You must
with
have
Paul
been, were you
McCartney.
nervous?
I was so nervous.
I didn't know what to say to
I'll
him.
have to show you the picture. I go to take the picture. I can't get it to turn around and face us. I can't think of how you do that. So I take a picture of me and Paul McCartney in the bathroom mirror. So I ruined my one moment because Paul's looking down at
He's
my
looking
phone
at the
like
phone,
this.
yeah.
Like a normal person thinking
Like
I'm
it's a
gonna
selfie
take,
and Mike took it in the mirror.
That's awesome. That's a great story. So now for me, I'm going to one down you. I went to the Hollywood Improv also.
Yes.
I also went into the bathroom and I met a celebrity. I met Steve-O from Jackass.
No
when I
way.
went in there. Yeah, like the
Oh,
third
that's
best guy on Jackass. I met him.
That's amazing.
And then,
did.
and Kendyll, you were out there. I heard you ran into a big-time Hollywood director.
I did. Same place. I got to meet Judd Apatow.
Wow.
And I walked up to him with another comedian friend of ours from LA. Her name's Julia Jasunas. And I walked up to him, asked him for a picture, and then I said, "Hey, Judd, I want you to meet my friend Julia." Like that would do anything.
No, it's even funny the way you did
You
it.
went up and you just went,
yeah.
"Hey, Judd."
Hey, Judd.
Yeah.
Hey.
So she goes, no, funnier, you go up and take, hey, can I get a picture with him? You know.
Oh, that's right, I went back.
And took a picture with Judd
yeah.
first.
That's right.
Then she goes back and tells someone, she goes, and her friend Julia wants to meet him. And so then she goes back and then goes to Judd as if now that they're friends because she
Well,
met
yeah.
him. Said, Judd,
Obviously.
I'd like you to meet my friend Julia, which I'm sure Judd was very excited.
Oh,
His friend
absolutely.
Kendyll.
But
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
We're pals now.
Because when I was in Hollywood, me and my common law wife, Stacy,
Yes.
we went to Hollywood, and we were on Hollywood Boulevard. You think you're not going to see a celebrity on
No.
Hollywood Boulevard? It'd be kind of sad, really.
don't hang out there.
But we did spot one, and we knew it for sure. He was really drunk. We saw, and I don't mind bragging, Andy Dick.
No,
Yeah, about the
he-
eighth most
Yeah.
popular character from news radio 20 years ago.
That was
He was berating a woman.
Oh, was he?
But I
really?
didn't
course he
think
was.
I didn't feel there was any danger
Yeah.
because I think the woman could have handled
That'd
him.
be for a different segment. That's like 5 downer.
Yeah, that is a 5 downer.
You went way
I
from
just-
Paul McCartney to Andy
that's
Dick. We went. That's not 1 downer.
We went way down.
5 downer. But yeah.
to Andy Dick. Mike Travers, Kendyll Travers, thank you guys both for coming on. You guys have
Thanks
anything to
for
plug?
having
You want to
us.
mention your company? You want to mention any shows coming up?
I mean, I work for a company called Arbonne, and it's a health and wellness company. So we do nutrition, cosmetics, skincare. So if you want information on awesome vegan products, contact me through Facebook.
Yeah, and we are going to Mexico
we
in
are going to
like 10
Mexico.
days because of that. So.
Yeah, earned a free trip. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, what town in Mexico?
We'll be in Vietmeier at the Hard Rock Resort.
Yeah.
Is that on the Gulf side or the
A little bit lower than Cancun, like
Oh,
like
okay.
a half hour south of Cancun
Nice.
or something. So
Well,
yeah,
take some pictures and come back and
absolutely.
Thank you.
see us. All right, Mike
Definitely.
Travers, Kendyll Travers, thank you guys very much
Thanks
for being
for
on the
having
show.
Thanks for having us, Mike.
All right, thank you. Are they?
Who the fuck is this dude coming with this shit? Goddamn it, boy, wrong. Who the fuck is this dude acting like a fool, man? He motherfucking wrong. Who the fuck is this dude? Seen him in the video, damn, he about to get it, yo. Give it just a minute, man. Everybody really know that the boy here goes. Who the fuck is this dude ripping up the track, man? He motherfucking raw. Oh, we bout to kick it old school in a cunt of that Walkman and be the god. Oh, you say from the bird to word, huh? Yeah, who we fucking with, dawg? Oh, damn, yeah, let's about y'all. If you wanna run with me, gotta lay it on the line, you can come with me. Sick of everybody popping up from underneath. Bitch, I do it on my own, no company. You run the league. Come to me, can reach like amputees. Finna take a hit of Ventolin because I wheeze. Probably would I give a puffin' on too many trees. Be he bringing hands, tell the boy need an ease of Jesus. What they gonna say to me when I been running everything level and every motherfucking rapper fan of innocent bystanders by hand. All the ladies hit the track and they be like it's my jam. Oh damn, really on that raw shit. Got them hyped up looking for a marsh pit. Feeling like I'm really taking on these all bitch. Motherfuckers over here looking so exhausted. Who the fuck is this dude coming with this shit like a motherfucking boss? Who the fuck is this dude acting like a fool, man? He motherfucking wrong. Who the fuck is this dude? Seen him in the
All right, you just heard Raw by Pittsburgh artist Walkman. He's going to be here with us in a few minutes, but as most people should know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and with us today are from the Real Men Wear Pink, Sean Giliberti and John Kohler. Thank you guys for being on the show.
Oh, thanks for having us.
And tell us about your organization. When did you get started?
Oh, which organization we talk about? The Real Men
Wear
Pink
Pink.
campaign?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this campaign has been such a whirlwind. I was lucky enough to be approached when I was at the home show downtown. I had a financial booth, and basically I sat there, and we had all our stuff behind us, and people don't just come up to you with bags of cash and say, "Hey, I've got this $1 million. How can I invest it?" So what I was doing is I was there. I'm like, "Hey, do you have any retirement questions? Any Social Security questions, so on and so forth." And one woman I spoke with, had an amazing conversation with, felt I could help her out. And at the end, she's like, "By the way, I have this perfect event and campaign for you." And I had pink on at the time. And so from there, I just wanted to make sure I was able to do my part. And I've been full throttle ever since. Not like this guy, though. This guy's killing it. The rest of our team, everyone's killing it. But
Yeah, because there's a report that your organization, you're among the national leaders in raising money so far this month.
I think we are the national leader.
Wow, congratulations.
And I think currently we're north of $100,000 for, I think we set our goal at 150 as a group, there's 18 of us that are doing this. So of the 18, our goal is to hit $150,000. And we're all, really getting started. It's early in October, so a lot of us have done some fundraising early on, but now we're looking at the next.
But it's October 4th, and you're already
We're already 3/4 of the way there, 2/3 of the way there, exactly.
Wow, well, congratulations, you guys, for doing really good work. How long have you both been part of this organization?
So it's run through the American Cancer Society. I've been volunteering with the American Cancer Society for probably 10 years.
Really?
Got involved after my father passed away, did things with Coaches versus Cancer, and got to know Dawn pretty well through the organization. And she approached me earlier this year and said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing this? I know you do a lot with the organization already. Let's see if we can kind of get you out in front." I'm better behind the scenes. This is, not my area of expertise. So.
Okay, all right. You're doing well so far. All right. Thank you guys for everything you do here. And how can someone help? How can someone contribute? Where would they go to?
So there's a Facebook page, Real Men Wear Pink of Greater Pittsburgh, which would have all of the individuals that are on the campaign, as well as we've listed our events. A lot of us are hosting fundraising events this month. We have David Allen, who was on the campaign, has a fashion show on Friday.
Okay.
We have some individuals next week that are hosting some events. I have mine in 2 weeks, which is a concert at Jurgles, and Sean has something coming up here shortly as well. So
yeah. It's the David Allen event. I'm real excited about it. I mean, it's the fashion show.
Yeah,
All the
he's big time. He's big time.
exactly, yeah.
This guy's the man. He's the fashion designer to the celebrities, Pittsburgh's own. I feel honored to know him. And they gave us a cool jacket. Yeah. They came in, they fitted us for everything. And so I've got this jacket that makes me look so much better than I actually am. It was fantastic.
Yeah, you guys are sharp dressed. You're the best dressed. Suits for me is just funerals and court appearances.
Whatever. You would pull it off so well.
I have to meet him.
Well, you get a nice pink suit, it'll go well, right?
Okay. Thank you guys for. I mean, that's great that you do volunteer work. But what do you guys do besides what's a full-time job? But either one of you.
I'm a tax accountant.
Okay.
So pretty boring stuff, deal with your taxes, make sure that everything's in line and we meet.
You're a numbers guy.
I'm a numbers guy, so is Sean. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
both in, financial products. So
We're boring
Okay.
them. I can hear this news, and you're like, finance guys, no one wants to talk
But Sean,
about
I heard you have. This is always something interesting to me that you have a patent. You
Oh,
actually
yeah.
received a patent for something. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
Yeah, so I invented a new lamp called the liquid therapy lamp. And what it does is it hangs from the ceiling as a chandelier, has a lampshade on the top, and underneath is this clear sphere. All right, and in the clear sphere, I have it filled with water, oil, and a couple other biodegradable chemicals inside of there. And the nice thing is, when you turn it on like a regular lamp, you just give it a nice little push, and it'll rock slowly back and forth and create this beautiful fireball right in front of your eyes. And it'll make some nice big bubbles that'll break in slow motion. It's pretty cool. It's patented, but I'm not selling it yet because I've been developing it for 5 years. And there's a couple things I got to work out, kinks I got to work out. Some of the colors make it cloud up, and I don't know. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Yeah. It's fun.
So, Real Men Wear Pink, where we can find you guys on social media. We're going to find you on
Facebook,
Twitter,
Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. I believe that they're putting it out there for us. I don't use Instagram, but I think they're probably on there as well.
Okay,
so,
yeah, me either. Yeah.
I stuck to the early things. So
Okay, but I mean, thank you, and it's something. It gets every family, doesn't it? Almost every family I know has at least.
if it's not breast cancer, it's another type.
It's another type of it,
it's
yeah.
someone that everyone knows most likely was affected by cancer in some way, and this, and I think all of us, our goal is to do what we can to raise money to help end cancer. And I think, we're $100,000 of the way in. How can we, beat that 150, maybe get to 2?
Yeah.
So
It was nice. We got to meet the doctors where some of the money's going to for all this research. And I'll tell you, they were very optimistic about possible cure in the future. I'll tell you, they really got our blood pumping and go out there and do as well as we can. And it's really nice to know that all of the money is going directly and meet the people that it's going to.
Right.
And pretty cool.
Puts it, it's not, and it puts a face on it too.
Yeah,
when you see
exactly,
that.
yeah.
But guys, from Real Men Wear Pink in Pittsburgh, Sean Giliberti, John Kohler, thank you guys so much for stopping
Thank
by.
you.
definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you for the work that you
Definitely.
do.
Yep.
Thanks,
Pleasure.
guys. All right, that's Sean Giliberti, John Kohler. We're going to take a little break and we'll be right back with Walkman.
Get on the floor. Girl, give me some more. Would you look at this?
right, what you're listening to is our next guest, Kevin Reilly, goes by the name Walkman. Kevin Reilly, are you even old enough to remember the Walkman?
I am. I'm surprisingly older than people think.
Really?
Yeah, I'm 30.
Oh, okay. So you had maybe the CD
I was on the
Walkman.
I was on the Discman.
The
side of it.
Discman.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So listen to your songs. I mean, you have a unique sound coming out of Pittsburgh, and there's a lot of your lyrics that strike you as comical, as funny to me. Where I mean, I know you're a serious rapper. And I'm not trying to belittle that at any point, but it comes across as it's enjoyable because it's funny. Is it something that you don't? Is that your approach to not take it as seriously, or is that just some songs?
In life, I don't take like anything seriously.
Right.
But music, I do. But I try to kind of mix that together. I don't think that everybody wants to see like a serious rapper. You know what I mean? I can say serious things, and then I can just do funny stuff and kind of pull it all together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So your
Helps at least.
new album is called 15229. Now, if people don't know what part of Pittsburgh is that for.
It's Westview.
In Westview? Okay.
Westview, yeah, real small town. It's like a square mile. So.
That's
Yeah. Rick knows all about it. Your guest earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he knows all about it. Yeah, okay. So when is that coming out?
It came out on July 27th. So it's already out. It's on iTunes, everything.
Okay.
Everywhere you can get music, it's there.
All right. And where'd you record? Did you record it here in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, in Pittsburgh, in Springdale, What If Studios.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, shout out to What If.
All right. Shout out to What If Studios. And do you have any shows coming up? Do you want to plug for us?
Yeah, actually this Sunday at Howlers in Bloomfield.
Bloomfield.
8 p.m. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds great. And where can we find you on social media?
It's Walkman everywhere. At It's Walkman. Facebook / It's Walkman.
All right.
Or just look up Walkman and rapper, and it'll pop up pretty much anywhere.
Now,
Surprisingly.
how long have you been in the game now?
Well, since like 2009, so probably like 8 years. But
Has you noticed that as the landscape of Pittsburgh rap changed a lot in that time?
A
Is
lot.
it
Yeah, a whole lot.
a lot more people in it? Or just the
yeah,
sound?
yeah. I mean, there's a lot more people in it, and the sound of it is. I think everybody's kind of going more for like a trap style. That's the more current style. Mine's a lot different than that, but yeah, I mean, it's a really good scene. Like, there's a lot of really talented artists, even in that trap style, which isn't really my thing. But,
Right.
You know, I respect it. So,
It's,
yeah.
it's a lot of right. Do you take pen to paper, or do you
I do it on my
record
phone. I
Do
used,
it all
to,
on
I
your
used to
phone?
do it on paper, and I'd go through 20 sheets, and it's just easier on the phone.
And it definitely is.
So I can pretend I'm old school and use mine. Yeah.
So who would you list as a couple of your influences in music?
There's a million of them. Outkast, Tribe Called Quest. I'd say those two kind of like are the epitome of what mine is together.
Those are good ones because those two stand out as they're completely different than anybody else.
Yeah, I feel like if you put the Outkast like kind of flavor to an East Coast style.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
it is. Yeah.
Kevin Reilly, the new album's called 15229, also known as Walkman. That's the stage name. He's going to be at Howlers in Bloomfield coming up this Sunday.
Yep, this Sunday.
And check out 15229. You can find that on iTunes. We want to also thank our other guests, Rick Sebak, Mike and Kendyll Travers, John Kohler, and Sean Giliberti from Real Men Wear Pink. Also, check us out on Epicast. Reza Wadney is a very funny podcast called No Week's Notice. Check that out because maybe, I'm on it this week. Also, thank you to Pittsburgh City Paper and to Tyler Vietmeier and Buzzy Torek. Next week, we have Pittsburgh radio legend Jimmy Crenn, and we're going to play you out with Walkman's Raw. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Johnny Carson is into his 8th year on the Tonight Show. And
Richard, can you run out and get a carton of milk?
now, millions of Americans have responded to
This dude coming with this shit, goddamn it, boy, wrong. Who the fuck is this dude acting like a fool, man? He motherfucking wrong. Who the fuck is this dude? Seen him in the video, damn, he video. Give it just a minute, man. Everybody really know that the boy here goes. Who the fuck is this dude ripping up the track, man? He motherfucking raw. Oh, we bout to kick it old school in a cut of that Walkman to be the god. Oh, you say from the bird to word, huh? Yeah, who we fucking with, dawg? Oh, damn, yeah, let's get him on the song. But he ain't never gave a fuck about y'all. If you wanna run with me, gotta lay it on the line, you can come with me. Sick of everybody popping up from underneath. Bitch, I do it on my own, no company. You run the league, come to me, can reach like amputees. Finna take a hit of adrenaline because I wheeze. Probably would I give a puffin' on too many trees. Be he bringing hands to the boy, need to ease up. Jesus, what they gonna say to me when I been running everything level and every motherfucking rapper fan of innocent bystanders by hand. All the ladies here the track and they be like it's my jam. Oh damn, really on that raw shit. Got them hyped up, looking for a marsh pit. Feeling like I'm really taking on these all bitch. Motherfuckers over here looking so exhausted. Who the fuck is this dude coming with this shit like a motherfucking boss? Who the fuck is this dude acting like a fool, man? He motherfucking raw. Who the fuck is this dude? Seen him in the video, damn, he about to get it, yo. Give it just a minute, man. Everybody really know that the boy here goes. Who the fuck is this dude coming with this shit? Goddamn, that boy raw. Who the fuck is this dude acting like a fool, man? He motherfucking raw. Who the fuck is this dude? Seen him in the video, damn, he about to get it, yo. Give it just a minute, man. Everybody really know that the boy here goes. It's Westview Walkman. Tell me that I'm down to earth, but my mind's on Neptune often. It contains a concoction. He deranged in his veins full of rage from the toxins. Yeah, bitch, I'm on the verge of killing a verse until there's anybody you heard deliver a flawless verse of curses. The birds, vanilla pasted white boy, bitch, another person iller. Nope, not a one. Sorry, but if you've been feeling any different, think it's time to take another hobby up. Think your friends have been lying to a lot of you. I've been living for 8 days straight like Hanukkah. What you doing, man? You really need to be gone. Got more play than your album off of 3 songs. Always bouncing up and down like a seesaw, feeling like a slave to the game. Watch a free fall. Tom Petty, my dog heavy. Dick long, oh no, probably heard about it already. Rip a show when I'm live, you can call Kelly. Good sir, hood nerd, now we gon' get it. Been looking around town for some high miss. New herb got me going through a crisis. I'm just trying to take it back to the 9-6 when they had the radio playing all my shit. Who the fuck is this dude coming with this shit like a motherfucking boss? Who the fuck is this dude acting like a fool, man? He motherfucking raw. Who the fuck is this dude? Seen him in the video, damn, he about to get it, yo. Give it just a minute, man. Everybody really know that the boy here goes. Who the fuck is this dude coming with this shit? Goddamn, that boy raw. Who the fuck is this dude acting like a fool, man? He motherfucking raw. Who the fuck is this dude? Seen him in the video, damn, he about to get it, yo. Give it just a minute, man. Everybody really know that the boy here goes. The rains in his veins for the rains for the toxins.